Welcome to Mindset Monday. Today we're going to get personal. I'm speaking to you the way I would in a quiet, honest conversation, as a mentor, a coach, and most importantly, as a friend. I'm not perfect in this area. Please don't misconstrue that. I wrestle with commitment just like anyone else. But what I can share with you are principles, timeless, tested, and proven principles across generations of time. Principles that work when we apply them. So buckle up. Let's dive in. Because this week's topic is about making a commitment to change. Because we all know the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, yet expecting different results. But today, we're going to confront the brutal facts of where we're stuck. And then we'll talk about how to truly commit. The moment you decide, your turning point begins here. There comes a point in every person's life where you say, I'm done. I'm done living this way. Not angry, not desperate, just done. That quiet line in the sand is the real beginning of transformation. Every new future begins with a simple whisper inside. Remember in the very beginning when I said it's the inside that matters, not the outside. So on that inside, you hear that simple whisper, I want something more. I deserve something more. I want something better. I must change. Change doesn't feel hard because the new future is bad. It feels hard because the familiar past is comfortable. We know it. We've lived it. Even if it isn't working, it's familiar. And the mind will always choose familiar over unknown. It's called homeostasis. That's when our subconscious mind is trying to keep us safe, protecting us from change, the unfamiliar. That is until we become aware of our thoughts and we change that habit of thinking and make a conscious decision to change our thoughts in order to change our lives. It's very simple, straightforward, but again, it's not easy. Remember in an earlier episode when I called those thoughts or those habits my 2-ton gorillas? Those 2-ton gorillas are tough. So let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. What do you really want? Not what you think you should want, not what other people are expecting you or want you to want, but what do you want? Because if you don't know where you're going, guess what? All roads will take you there. Clarity isn't optional. It's the very foundation of commitment. So let me share a few principles that have helped me personally. We've all heard the old saying, a goal not written down is just a wish. And I've found this to be absolutely true. Writing for me brings clarity. Writing slows you down. Writing forces your thoughts to take shape. Writing makes the invisible visible. It ties back to an earlier episode when I asked you, what are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching? Because what you feed your mind actually shapes your future. Whatever your vision is, whatever change you're committing to, your health, your relationships, your job, your finances, write it down. Then put it where you can't avoid it. Post-it notes on your mirror, a line on your screensaver, a reminder on your dashboard, a folded piece of paper in your pocket so that every time you reach in for the lip balm or a coin, you feel it and it reminds you of what you're committing to. It's a reminder about what your future is going to look like. Every touch, every glance, every reminder. You're building your new neural pathways. You're rewiring your brain. You're rewiring your thoughts. You're shifting your identity one tiny reinforcement at a time. That's how commitment becomes real. That's how change takes root. And that's how you begin creating the life that you actually want. When you make a real decision, not a wish, not a hope, not a half-hearted maybe, the universe shifts. Your mind shifts. Your energy shifts. You start showing up differently. You start thinking differently. You start acting differently. Decisions create direction. Direction creates momentum. Momentum creates transformation. Here's where your authenticity connects. A lot of the time, we already know the right choice. We feel it in our gut, that inner intuition, that quiet guidance. And every time I've listened to that voice, it's led me somewhere pretty good. Every time I've ignored it, I tried to rationalize myself out of it or use someone else's opinion. Well, it didn't turn out that well. The trick is listening to that still, small voice inside of you, and then having the courage to follow that inner knowing, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. So here's your invitation for this week. Not to change your entire life, not to fix everything overnight, but something much simpler and much more powerful. Choose your turning point. Decide what you really want and commit to taking the first honest step toward it. On Wednesday, we'll go a little bit deeper into clarity, how to define what matters most, how to cut through the noise, and how to finally see your future very clearly. But today, just decide. Your turning point begins the moment you choose it.